morning. Welcome to another kerfuffle webinar. I'm delighted to have on the show again Paul from Stitch. Paul Gandar, how the devil are you, sir?
Not bad, yeah. Sainsbury's just turned up, so I've just done my back in moving all the beer into the kitchen. So yeah, not bad start today.
I don't know what Sainsbury's are thinking, if you're honest. I had to, our neighbours were isolating, and I had to go and pick up from Sainsbury's. And it was the first time I'd come across this policy where you either get the big boxes to lift or the individual items. It's like it feels like Sainsbury's have found a new third way of doing supermarket shopping.
Yeah, one item in a bag, but yeah, no. So yeah, I'm all stacked up with essentials. So
yeah. No, it's not. You haven't got your Christmas puds in yet. You're not one of these ridiculous people with the tree up already, are you? Please.
One of our friends, we were talking on Zoom the other night, and they put their decorations up halfway through November. I thought, no way, 18th for me.
Testify. Well, look, yeah, it's a bit rich of me to have a go. It's not as if I don't eat chocolate months before Easter, is it? But anyway, right, Paul. This is one of our ring around sessions. Just congratulating everybody who was at EA Masters for being placed in the top 40 innovations and ideas. I think it is entirely unsurprising that you guys were in there. Obviously, Stitch, as many people will know if they've seen our shows, whole solution based around WhatsApp communication, providing you with a nice CRM element that backs the service and everything else, and essentially giving you a way professionally a way of communicating with your audience on the business platform. What do you? I mean, I think it's obviously it would have been in the top 40 in any year when you're kind of exploding onto the scene, but this year in particular, where digital communications are absolutely vital. Do you want to just talk us through the sort of elements you feel were why you were included in that top 40?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of agents we speak to, they've been using WhatsApp, but they've been using their personal phone. So I think a lot of people are realizing that it is the easiest way to follow up inquiries, questions, queries, whatever. So it's kind of natural that anything WhatsApp related is going to be sort of definitely on the interest, because I think everyone sort of knows that it's there and everyone's using it, but they half know maybe they shouldn't be using their personal one. So yeah, bringing it into the fore. And I mean, hey, this is WhatsApp's grand plans. We're simply just putting software around it to enable brands, be they estate agents or other vertical markets. But the estate agent vertical for us has just taken off because clearly it's helping the negs, the valuers, everyone in the business just react and respond and give service. So yeah.
And I mean, just on that, one of the big things it's helping with at the moment, agents, I would argue, are never really short of leads, but they are certainly not short of them at the moment. They are, in fact, it's been marked looking at the solutions on our platform that, those lead generation ones, when we've been talking to people, said, look, that's not my issue. Absolutely, I can forget about that for the moment. How you deal and manage with those solutions, like things like Area and obviously Stitch, are the absolute required systems and tools to be able to cater for that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't call ourselves a marketing company. We're not a lead generator. We're a communication provider. It happens to help with lead processing or management of those inquiries. And we've got clients who use Area, who use Lead Pro. We are not a substitute for that. In the same way, which is what we're sort of changing the narrative slightly, and sort of we provide branch WhatsApp accounts. And in the past, we'd sort of use the word shared inbox, but that doesn't resonate. But a branch WhatsApp account is what we provide. So in your business, you will have a telephone system, you will have email systems. We are a WhatsApp system. It's as simple as that. You can have other lead management processes, but through the channel of WhatsApp is where the consumer prefers to be. All these systems and that agents have been using for years, they're all built around email. Fundamentally, they're built around email. There is a communication problem because email to a consumer is the problem. So, and there's an element of, we get, in fact, we're trying to do some more insights on this. We get a spread of conversions of between 40 and 75, nearly 80%. And we're trying to work out what are the times? Is it when the leads come in during the day? Are they more likely to convert into a WhatsApp chat? Is it in the evening? We've got to analyze that data. But we can sit alongside those lead solutions. That the core of what we are is a channel. It's not about it certainly helps manage the leads, because if you think about it, a lead comes in from a portal, we invite them into WhatsApp, and then we take them on an automated journey. So if you're a lettings agent and a property inquiries come in and they want to arrange a viewing, we automate that journey. We can even ask them, will you have any pets? Do you have any smokers? All the sort of things you've got to ask. We just prescript it on a flow within WhatsApp, and then once that flow's finished, the agent then has got all the information in front of them, the times and dates available they want to do a viewing, or if they're not suitable for viewing, it's just a simple reply saying sorry, no. But the other things we're going to start picking out on those journeys are, do you have a house to sell? Is your house on the market yet? So if it's not, we can tag it and flag it. So then that is then seen as a higher lead. And we know there's other platforms do a similar thing, but that's in the channel of email and phone and the traditional ones, and that's the bit we're addressing. So,
I think that's a really key point. That you working alongside these solutions, like anything, isn't it? It's just honing, tweaking, getting that performance bounce that you get. And there's definitely no doubt at all, something like you in an area would be greater than the sum of its parts by working together there. I think the lovely thing, we've experienced it itself. Funny enough, we did our famous 5 competition for trying to coach 5 agencies, and we wrote to them via email to let them know. And we were like, we thought people would be quite excited about this. We had a load of people register who wanted to have that support. And 3 of them, it took between 4 and 7 days to get all 5 of them responded. And it wasn't that they were all really keen to take on, but 3 of them had literally just missed it in the inbox, the fight that you have on a daily basis in terms of staying around. And that's absolutely standard for most people these days as well. I know I get almost, 270, I think, is emails on a daily basis there. It is simply unsustainable in terms of how you actually manage that.
And that's in the B2B world, Simon. As a consumer, what consumer arranges their life in their Hotmail account or their and that's what all these inquiries coming in, the forms that they complete, it's that they're forced to give a number, their email address, because that's what businesses have worked, because all their systems work on email. But when you want to reach back out to them, agents will know their own click-through rates, but or read rates, they're between 10-20% at best. And tell you, I read a really interesting thing on LinkedIn, someone's post, and it was an agent working for a corporate, and they said they had 87 leads. They called them up and they only spoke, and that included people calling back with telephone tag and voicemail, 17. And all that effort, you're paying someone to just get on the phone, and we see open and read rates of 90% plus. And if someone's interested, they're going to come back to you. And we can automate all of that part of that. We're working on another project with a car manufacturer, to do with servicing. So when your servicing's due up, we can pull data out and send automated messages out. And there's a whole load of data sitting in these CRMs, which with a little bit of mining. So once we've got the consent for WhatsApp, we can make it more powerful. We can do these drip feed journeys, but it's got to be lower down the funnel. It cannot be at the very top. This is not a mass. I've said this before in the previous one. You've got to use WhatsApp carefully, because if it is abused, you won't get the 90% plus open rates. No. And I don't mean that. We mean at a macro level. That's why WhatsApp have their consent rules. They have their template messages rules. It is important to WhatsApp to maintain that 90% plus read rate, because if they don't, then the messaging, that channel becomes less of a value. So
that makes sense. And look, it's one thing that was again makes sense there is that this was the very story, of course, that all the email providers, the original digital marketeers said you had to be on there. You had to be on obviously email and using the systems, because of course the open rates or the engagement rates of things like direct mail were down at those sorts of levels. Yep. And what's interesting, I know we're all sick to death of bloody bell curves these days, but the bell curve in terms of efficacy for email now is on the downward slope, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
It's still great. Obviously, on the whole, it's a free medium, but therein lies its demise as well, isn't it? Because everyone is, as you said, all trying to do the same thing. They're all following the same marketing tactics in terms of that registration, and it means it's purple cow time, difficult to stand out from the crowd. And another way, obviously, you at Stitch and indeed WhatsApp are different, is it adds that whole voice element in, doesn't it? Do you want to just give us an overview of that?
So we were given some idea. This whole journey has been pretty new. The whole concept is quite new. So we were asking people from all sorts of different industries, what are your challenges? What can we help solve? And the one thing that sort of was brought up quite a few times is we struggle to answer the phone at peak times. You call in and you think about that experience as a customer. It's really frustrating. Estate agents aren't call centers. I've said before, we provide solutions for distributed sales and service teams. Call centers are whole different technologies. But a call goes into a branch and doesn't get answered. Now, think about in our personal lives, right? Who uses voicemail? It's just you call, you just don't leave voicemails. You if you don't get answered, you hang up, and then you go on the basis that if they see your missed call. But what you generally do is you follow it up with a message. So that concept now. So we've got one agent. I won't mention their name, but they've generated 75 WhatsApp chats in 1 month from calls they can't answer. Now, clearly, that there's a bums on seats issue there. So and there's going to be peaks and troughs. So you go back to our first lockdown, that panic of, we've got to shut offices down. There are peaks and troughs, and there's going to be times when you can't answer the phone. You might be sure that, holiday, sickness and holidays. And I'm sure no agent wants to ever not answer the phone. But I think you've got to be pretty thick-skinned if you think that's never going to be me. There will be times. So we now think of that journey. I've called into an agent. There's no answer. What do I do? Now, a lot of people just hang up. Some people leave voicemails, but then that's quite difficult for the branch to manage because it's a sort of a standalone message that you can listen to it. Something else comes on before you know it, you've forgotten it. The trail of management is very difficult with voicemail. So what we can do is on most phone systems, so we've built this bot, works with majority of phone systems. So call comes into the agent, can't take your call right now, please leave a message or press 1 to start a WhatsApp chat. Customer presses 1, and then we can then pick up their mobile number, play it back to them. If they've called from an office number, it senses that because it knows it's not an 07, and then it says, right, please enter your mobile number associated to your WhatsApp account. So it's all really seamless, and then you put the phone down, and that's it. A WhatsApp message has come from the branch. Sorry, we couldn't take your call. How can we help you? One of the team will pick this up when we can. Because this goes back to what I talked about earlier, is that WhatsApp is asynchronous. The phone is real time. Live chat is real time. You have to answer a live chat within 15 seconds. You have to answer a phone call in 15 seconds. That's not easy at certain times of the day. So we are moving that away. And of course, the customer experience is again, this is all new. I don't think there's anyone doing it at all out there. But when you give the customer the option, they press it. They would much rather send you a WhatsApp message. Think about that perception. I try and sort of, make people think about if you are a customer and you're going to turn a negative, right? So there you go, we're not answering the phone, but this is quite good. And they've got the confidence, the message has been sent and someone responds, be it 5, 10, 20 minutes later. And you're turning that negative into a semi-positive, if there's such a way of thinking about it. You can't, you're not going to answer the phone every time, but at least make it more traceable, auditable, and easier for the branch to engage, and then make that experience be, that was different,
Yeah. So I think that's absolutely spot on. Look, not only I have to state my bias here. The minute I saw your proposition, obviously I said, well, I'm having that. It's so obvious. So I am biased, but I encourage anyone to obviously get in contact with you, have a conversation. Not least, and I'll be honest here, Paul, your consultancy around this level, even if they're just going to listen to what they should be doing in dealing with that, is invaluable. It would be remiss of me to point out that you haven't been really, really kind to our kerfuffle members as well, and given, I think it's 20% off the first 3 months for people to get the best possible deal to test the service. So again, reach out to Paul in the normal places, on obviously at his own website, on social, or indeed on the landing page at Kerfuffle. Paul, I just wanted to say congratulations today, but I think just as a final aside, I said you were in the top 40, but you also narrowed down to the top 10 in terms of leadership. And I think there's times where, leadership, you do need to make a strong call in terms of what your policy is going to be. And it feels like, WhatsApp and Stitch should be at the center of that going forwards.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's it's about helping agents make, to make. Someone made a statement to me many years ago, and I'll never forget it. Is make yourself easy to do business with. And we know where the consumers are, and with our help, we help agents. We help guide their web developers, put the call to actions, get QR codes in their windows, turn their phone system into something. So we really think of all the journey: the portal leads coming in, the valuation leads, the website inquiries, form submissions. We really think about the entire journey. We don't just provide a platform and say, "There you go, Gov." We absolutely deliver it around, and we think of all these things that are. There's so many aspects to it. So yeah, so no, we really like to think we could make a significant difference into the perception of the agents in amongst their local competitors, because we can really make them stand out.
I think there's no doubt about it, and I can validate again. You spent a really good hour with us, just going through, looking at the website, looking at opportunities. There's a touch point that we should be thinking about putting Stitch and WhatsApp in place, looking at what our communications is, and that's absolutely invaluable, because we'd thought of a couple of places, a couple of obvious ones. Contact us on WhatsApp, but you were like that, and that's great to have that level of support. So long may it continue. Okay. Okay, Paul. Well, look, you have a fantastic day. It looks like good news, vaccines and coming out again. It's all you just said there. What is it? Make it easy to do business with you. When the pubs are open again, I'm there to be done business with.
Absolutely.
Cheerio.
All right. Bye.